Imagine waiting every single day for a phone call that could save your life, knowing that if the right organ never arrives, your time could simply run out. Now, imagine that the life-saving lungs you're given come from someone who was also living with HIV. For decades, doctors believed that wasn't possible. In fact, it was once against the law in the United States. But today, medicine has rewritten the rules. A man named Bertrand Nelson, who has lived with HIV for more than 20 years, has become the first person in the world to receive a lung transplant from an HIV-positive donor. This remarkable operation, performed at NYU Langone Health in New York City, isn't just saving one life. It could transform organ transplantation for thousands of people around the world, while helping to erase decades of fear and stigma surrounding HIV. So, how did scientists make what once seemed impossible become reality? Let's discover the incredible story behind this historic breakthrough. To understand why this moment is so extraordinary, we need to look back. When HIV first emerged in the 1980s, there were very few effective treatments. Many people believed a diagnosis meant certain death, and enormous fear surrounded the disease. Because doctors worried about transmitting HIV, organs from HIV-positive donors were never used for transplantation. Think of it like having thousands of perfectly good rescue boats sitting unused during a flood, because everyone believed they couldn't safely carry passengers. Everything began to change when modern HIV medications allowed people living with HIV to suppress the virus to undetectable levels and live long, healthy lives. Then came another turning point. In 2013, the HIV Organ Policy Equity Act, also known as the HOPE Act, signed into law under President Barack Obama, allowed people living with HIV to donate organs to others with HIV. It was a revolutionary step, but lung transplantation remained one of the biggest unanswered questions. Now, here's the amazing part. On March 21st, Bertrand Nelson, a 56-year-old man from New Jersey, received not only 2 new lungs, but also a new liver from a deceased donor who was also living with HIV. This is the first successful lung transplant anywhere in the world where both the donor and the recipient were HIV positive. Why is that such a big deal? Imagine a library where an entire shelf of valuable books has been locked away for years. Then suddenly, someone finds the key. That's exactly what this discovery does. It unlocks a completely new source of donated organs that were previously unavailable to patients living with HIV. This isn't about curing HIV, it's about giving more people the opportunity to survive diseases that destroy the lungs, the heart, the liver, or other vital organs. Bertrand's journey was anything but easy. He was diagnosed with both HIV and sarcoidosis in the year 2000. Sarcoidosis is a disease in which clusters of immune cells build up in different parts of the body, especially the lungs. Fortunately, his condition remained under control for nearly 20 years. But in 2021, everything changed. He developed Legionnaire's disease, a severe form of pneumonia caused by Legionella bacteria. The infection reactivated his sarcoidosis, and his lungs rapidly deteriorated. Soon, he depended on oxygen simply to breathe. One transplant program in Pennsylvania declined his case, but refusing to give up, Bertrand turned to NYU Langone Health, where specialists carefully evaluated him under the HOPE research program. When compatible lungs and a liver became available, surgeons performed the historic operation. During surgery, Bertrand suffered respiratory arrest. His heart and lungs stopped working properly, but the surgical team successfully resuscitated him. After spending 67 days recovering in hospital, he finally returned home to New Jersey, where his 81-year-old mother and his cousin helped him begin the next chapter of his recovery. The impact of this breakthrough reaches far beyond one patient. Across the world, thousands of people die every year while waiting for organ transplants because there simply aren't enough donated organs. By allowing HIV-positive donors to help HIV-positive recipients, doctors can significantly increase the number of organs available, giving many more patients a chance to live. But perhaps the greatest benefit is something you cannot measure with numbers. For decades, HIV has carried a painful social stigma. Bertrand Nelson hopes his story helps change that forever. He wants people living with HIV to know they can become organ donors and save multiple lives. And for patients still waiting for a transplant, his message is both simple and deeply powerful. You are worthy. Those three words may inspire hope for countless families facing similar struggles. Of course, scientists are also being careful. Although this transplant was successful, lung transplantation between HIV-positive donors and recipients is still considered experimental in the United States. Only a small number of highly specialized hospitals have approval to perform these procedures. Doctors will continue monitoring patients over many years to understand the long-term outcomes and ensure the procedure remains safe. But researchers are excited for another reason. According to Cameron Wolfe, a transplant infectious disease specialist at the Duke University School of Medicine, every successful transplant provides scientists with a unique opportunity to better understand HIV itself. That knowledge could eventually contribute to future treatments and perhaps one day even bring researchers closer to achieving a durable cure for HIV. Sometimes, one successful patient opens the door for an entirely new chapter in medicine. Bertrand Nelson's story is about much more than receiving new lungs. It shows how scientific progress can replace fear with evidence, replace exclusion with opportunity, and replace hopelessness with a second chance at life. Years ago, this operation would have been considered impossible. Today, it has become a symbol of how medicine continues to evolve through research, compassion, and courage. Perhaps the greatest lesson is this: every scientific breakthrough begins by challenging an old belief. And sometimes, changing one life can change the future of medicine for millions. What do you think? Could breakthroughs like this completely change how the world views HIV and organ donation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this incredible story, please like, share, and subscribe to Innovative Scientific Discovery. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay curious and keep discovering the amazing science shaping our future.